Hello, Linda.
Hello.
You are an Irish woman. You are from Northern Ireland. And would you describe how do you celebrate Halloween in your country?
Well, I'm from a town sometimes called Derry or Londonderry, and there's a very strong tradition there of celebrating Halloween. And people would dress up in fancy dress outfits, usually something quite scary, like a skeleton or a vampire. And people would meet on the streets around about 8 o'clock at night whenever it's dark. And hundreds of people would be out in the streets. It's very much a party atmosphere. There would be fireworks. It's generally a fun night.
Is it a national holiday?
We don't get... Actually, I think we do get a day off work. Around that time, it's around half term for schools, but it's more in the evening, so it's not a daytime thing, it's in the evening. The children would go round in their local neighbourhood and knock on people's doors, and they'd say a rhyme about Christmas, that Christmas was coming up, and would take little bags with them, and people would give them treats like sweets or crisps or apples, and then the children would move on. They'd go in groups maybe to some of the other houses.
Do you celebrate these holidays in schools, kindergartens?
It's around the time of half term, so it's about halfway through the term from the end of the summer to Christmas. So schools are off then anyway, because it's halfway through the season, they get a break.
How do you think, what is the philosophy of the Halloween?
Some people would go into more detail maybe about the philosophy. For me and my family and the way we enjoy it, it's just a night of fun, meeting friends, meeting a lot of people and having a lot of enjoyment out in the streets and get an excuse to dress up. It's really just that.
Do you know people who protest against Halloween?
I can see, because I think the actual full term is All Hallows Eve, and it's about the eve of a particular religious day, and people would dress up as something scary like ghosts or vampires. So some people may have more of a religious association to it. Within my family it's not really anything to do with that, but I can see how the religious side of it would be a consideration for some people.
Do children like this event?
Well, I can only speak for my own family, and yet we've always enjoyed it, and I would always have children coming to my door. Mostly my neighbours' children, they would come to the door and say trick or treat, which is give me a treat or I'll do a trick, but you always buy in extra sweets and apples and chocolate and things for them, so I don't think they even think about the religious side, many of them. I don't get into the religious side of it. I understand how people could look at the religious side, and that's where it's come from, but in Northern Ireland it's separate from the religious celebration, and I don't think most people think too deeply about the religious side and about they just don't think too deeply about it really. It's a fun time. It's an excuse to have a party.
Do you think that Halloween is dangerous for religion, for faith?
I can see how some people would have worries, particular worries. The way I see it celebrated in Northern Ireland, I don't think there's a difficulty with it.
You don't know about negative consequences of Halloween?
I haven't heard of any, no. I think the children look on it as fun. There's an English author called Roald Dahl who wrote Charlotte's Web and a lot of famous books, and he said scare children when they're young, because then they'll never be scared of anything else the rest of their lives. So it's scary but fun.
Is it a popular day in Northern Ireland?
Yes, it is. It's everyone knows it's Halloween. There are traditions. You have to get an apple tart. You sometimes do games, and the children dress up. Yes, it's a tradition.
Yes, and it's a part of a culture. Maybe.
Yes, some towns would celebrate it more than others, and some families would celebrate it more than others. But yes, everyone knows Halloween is coming up, and everyone knows there will be Halloween parties.
What did you feel when you were a child during Halloween?
We always went round our neighbours' houses. We were careful only to go to people's houses that we knew, but they were always expecting us because they knew it was Halloween, so they always had treats. And you were very excited because you'd come home with a big bag full of all the chocolate and all the sweets, so it was very much about chocolate and sweets rather than anything else. You didn't think anything deeper about it.
And your children enjoyed too?
Yeah, and would have gone around the houses and met up with